Hello yogis, and welcome back to your mat. So I wanted to dedicate this practice to all of you parents out there that are perhaps sending your children back to school for the first time, and you might have all of the emotions involved. Perhaps it's excitement, perhaps it's something new, perhaps you're celebrating the change in the season and the change in a new chapter that we're kind of embarking on together. And maybe you are feeling a little bit anxious, or maybe you just have all of these emotions bundled up into one. I'm definitely feeling mine. So I'm going to be dedicating this practice to all of you parents out there that just need to move through this energy. And I invite you to just meet me on the mat so we can move together and share this practice. And if this is the first time that we are meeting, well, welcome to the channel. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that you have decided to share this practice with me. Every single week we meet on our mat. Every single week we work with the tarot cards and the oracle readings to just give us some more guidance energetically. And every single week we sort of talk about intention setting and how we can live a more intentionally based life. So if that sounds good, then you'll probably love it here. All right, let's begin. First, and as for props for this practice, you may want to use a blanket if you have one, just so that it protects your knees. And also, if you have your blocks, have them handy. Some of you may need it, some of you may not. We'll see what happens, but it's nice. If you have it, use it. Okay, let's begin first in... We'll begin in a seated position. I really love this easy pose because it's easy, and if it's available to you, then just we're going to find stillness here before we begin to move our body. So just place your hands on your knees, gently close your eyes, and we're going to take a deep breath through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose once more. And exhale through the mouth. Now to begin, you can gently open your eyes. And I wanted to do one more breath work with you before we get moving. I wanted you to we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. Okay, so let's inhale for a count of 4 at 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale. Excellent. You can go back to breathing the regular way, the way that you were. And let's first begin with another inhale, and we're going to bring your hands up. And sigh it out. Inhale once again. And exhale, sigh it out. Okay, let's meet on the mat in table. It's time to wake up the spine once again. So let's meet in table. Your hands shoulder width apart and your knees hip width apart. And just gently sway your inhale. So we're going to go in the left, and in a moment we're going to change directions. Let's change directions to the right. We're really working on just warming up the shoulder joints here right now. So come into a neutral table, but here I'm actually going to be placing my palms vertically. And just sway side to side. And then your next inhalation, if this is available to you, I'm going to bring my palm completely towards me. Keep as much bend, or bring your arms a little bit closer. and just gently sway. This will be really, really tight on most people. We're really working on warming up the forearms here. I promise it will feel a lot better by the end of the practice. Okay, at your next inhalation, just come into a neutral table, and we're going to begin with some cat and cow. So inhale, round your back, create that beautiful arch. Create that beautiful arch, chest forward. And exhale, round your spine. Head tucks in into your chest. Inhale, into cow. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And at your next inhalation, tuck your toes under, and we're going to meet in our first downward facing dog. Pedal it out as you may need to. Sway your hips side to side. This is just the time for us to start waking up our calf, our hamstrings. Gently press through the base of your fingertips. Generous bend in your knees, look in between your hands, and walk to the top of your mat. And just lean in. Leave your legs at hip width apart and hang on to opposite elbows and sway side to side for ragdoll. Perhaps bring your hands down to the mat, and you can step into your feet. Press your feet into the palm of your hands. And now watch my upper back. I'm going to actively bring my shoulder blades together while I'm creating some tension with my foot and with my hands. Next exhalation, release it, let it go. And from here, I'm going to bring my feet together and inhale halfway. Exhale, release. And inhale, slowly come up to standing. Slowly come up to standing into mountain. Stand at the top of your mat and take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. At your next inhalation, inhale your hands up, and we're going to sit down into chair. Your next inhalation, dive into your forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and place your hands in down to your mat. Step back into your plank. And we're ready for our first chaturanga. You may do this in a push-up position or choose to bring your knees down to the ground, whatever suits you. Inhale halfway into baby cobra. Exhale, down. Then bring your hands right next to your ribs, activate the legs, and come into downward facing dog. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. Your third exhalation, we're going to float your right leg up into the sky, look in between your hands, and bring it between your hands. Feet hip width apart. Inhale into your lunge. Exhale, bring your knees down to the ground. And when you're feeling steady, bring your hands up. Both hips are facing forward. So here you may choose to put a blanket underneath your knee, just to kind of protect it. And inhale, hands up. Do a little micro bend. Exhale, fold down, bring your legs up. And then your next inhale, we're going to come up into your warrior one. Bring your feet down to the ground, nice and strong. And at your next exhalation, adjust your footing and come into your warrior two. Exhale into reverse warrior. And inhale into your side angle. And you may float your arm up, bring it to your low back, or you may want to really not only open your chest, but reach forward. And if this is too much, you can bring a block and you can place your hand on the block. The point is more to, not so much how deep you can go, but more to open. Your next inhalation, remove the block, remove the blanket. Bring your hands down to the ground. Bring your knees down to the ground and wiggle your feet out to the edge of your mat. And we're going to come down here on our elbows for lizard. If this is too much, again, you can use your block to stay upright, or you may just choose to stay upright, like so. Your next inhale, activate your leg, step back into your plank, and we're going to go through our chaturanga. So inhale halfway, or if you're ready, you can come into your up dog and exhale, downward facing dog. So once again, we're going to be here for 3 breaths. Find your footing here. And your next inhalation, bring your toes together and float your left leg up to the sky and look between your hands. Bring your hands in between bring your feet between your hands. You may choose to use a block here if you need it. I'm going to bring in a blanket because I have it. And bring your knees down, look between your hands. And when you're ready, when you're feeling stable, inhale your hands up. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground, lift your knee, remove your blanket, and get your footing ready, and we're going to come up into your warrior one. Your next inhalation, with your hand up, adjust your footing and exhale into your nice strong warrior two. Inhale with your palms up and exhale into your reverse warrior. Inhale nice and slow, and you can bring your elbow into the inner part of your thigh. You can bring your hand to your low back, or you can float it forward, or you can float it up to the sky, whatever feels more comfortable for you. The idea is, again, that we're opening up at the chest. And no, actually from here, we're going to cartwheel our hands down, square your hips, and bring your toes again to the edge of your mat. Bring your knees down to the ground, and we can come down in lizard. You may just choose to stay here if this is enough of a stretch for you, or if it's available to you, then you can tilt your thigh outwards and you can come down on your forearms. 2 breaths here. Your next inhalation, come back on your hands and very gently bring your hands back into table and come and lean back into child. Activate your hands and look between your palms, come back into table, tuck your toes, come into downward facing dog. Look between your hands again and walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come to the top of your mat into mountain. And exhale, heart center. So here, when you're at the top of your mat, bring your hands to your waist. Bring your hands to your waist. Shift your weight to your left leg. Externally rotate the thigh. Make sure that you're nice and steady on your left leg here. And then when you're feeling ready, then bring your feet to your thigh or to your calf as you're creating a friction, and bring your hands into prayer, or if you're feeling so moved, then you can come into your tree. I'm going to stay in prayer because that actually feels right in my body today. Just take a deep breath. Notice how much tension you need to create here in order for you to be stable and steady like a tree, and how rooted you need to feel. Your next inhalation, bring your thigh to the front and place it down to the ground. Perhaps shake it off a little bit. Then we're going to repeat this. Why is this so weird? We're going to repeat this on the other side. So I'm going to shift my weight onto my right leg and just gently, maybe this is where you are today, where you just float your feet off the ground, and that's perfectly fine. And if it's available to you, then you can lift your thigh, externally rotate it, and bring your feet into your right inner thigh. And place your hands into prayer if this is available to you. And just breathe. But notice again that tension that your thigh creates with your feet as they are pushing into each other. One side will feel completely different than the other, as you can tell. And that's okay. Let's reset. Here we go. It's okay to wobble. One more breath. See what comes up for you here. And when you're ready, release your leg, shake it off, literally shake it off. Okay, now inhale your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold, and then inhale into mountain. Come into heart center. So from here, and I'm going to inhale my hands up. I'm going to come down into chair. And then I'm going to inhale again, but as I'm inhaling, I'm going to lift my right leg and I'm going to twist it. So let me just turn for you. So twist and completely wrap it around your left thigh or your left calf, if it's available to you. And I'm going to bring my right arm under the left into eagle and sit nice and deep and breathe. Again, create tension between your hands, create some tension with your legs and keep a steady point. Find your drishti, a focal point that is not moving. Your next inhale, release. And to reset, let's do another little flow. So inhale, exhale, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold again. And inhale, slowly come back up. And come into heart center. So again, inhale, hands up, come down into your chair. Inhale, back up into standing. And as you stand up, lift your left leg this time. Wrap it around your right thigh. Your hands can stay in prayer, or you can bring your left arm and wrap it on under the right arm as they meet in the middle. Again, make sure that your elbow is nice and away from your body, and sit nice and deep and breathe. It's through this balance and it's through this tension that you create that you will find that sense of relief that you're looking for. Your next inhale, release it all. Shake it off if you need to, and let's go through our flow. So inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Step or hop back into your plank, and let's go through our flow, chaturanga. Exhale. And inhale into up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Now from here, bring your knees down to the ground and come into a seated position in the most graceful way. So we're going to first begin with, I would like to begin with both because it's been a hot minute since we've done it. So I'm going to, so just bend your legs. And when you're ready, find your angle where you're feeling nice and stable, and perhaps this is where you stay today. If this is what's available in your practice, that's perfectly fine. If you are able to handle more, then float your legs to the sky and perhaps float your hands and breathe. 2 more breaths. Last one. And come back down, shake it off. So I'm going to straighten out my left leg, bring my right thigh into the inner thigh of my left leg, activate the legs here. And at the next inhalation, bring your hands up and exhale, fold. But think not so much deeply, but think forward. So we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And perhaps with each breath, you're going deeper into the stretch. Your next inhale, come back up and let's switch sides. So again, flex your toes. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. This side will probably feel different and one side will likely feel different than the other, which is perfectly fine. Again, we're going to be here for 3 breaths. Your next inhale, come back up. And when you're ready, come onto your mat. And we're going to set up for thread the needle. So for that, we're going to leave our knees bent, and you can bring your right leg over your knee. And if you feel like this is an intense stretch, then you may choose to stay here. But if you're coming with me, then we're going to lift your left leg, and I'm going to thread my hands through the thighs, and we're going to stay here for about 3 breaths. Your next exhalation, release, and let's switch sides. Again, if this is where you're at, just stay here for the entire time. And if you're coming with me, then lift your leg, activate both feet, flex both feet, and thread your hands through the opening here and hang on to your leg on the back of your thigh. You will likely feel this on your left leg, on the outer. It's basically going to be your external rotator. So you're going to feel this with your piriformis. You might feel slight tingling. If you feel tingling and shooting pain, please stop and get out of the stretch, because then it's too intense for you. Your next exhale, release. Bring both feet to the ground. And here If it's available to you, you may find that you want to bring both, grab the outer edge of both feet for a happy baby and just rock side to side. I find that a little rocking always sort of resets the nervous system whenever you've gone into an intense stretch. And at your next inhale, bring your knees to your chest. Again, you may want to rock side to side. And when you're ready, make any last adjustments that you need to, and we're going to set up for your final Shavasana. I'm going to do that seated. Wherever you are, find stillness in your practice. Give gratitude for the chapter that we have closed. And set the intention to welcome the new chapter that is ahead of us. And just know that you can always return back to your own center to find the strength that you may need to move forward in a positive way. Just know that this is always available to you at any time. Return to that initial intention that we set on finding our own inner compass, our own inner guidance that we were needing. And just know that at any moment, whenever you need that deep guidance, you can always return to your mat, and you can always return to connecting deep within to find that will pull you through. And when you're ready, in your next inhalation, if you haven't already, you may open your eyes. Gently come to a seated position. Take your time, take all the time that you need. Open your eyes. Welcome back. Perhaps a gentle smile if you have it. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining me in this practice, for showing up, more importantly, for yourself. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and stay tuned for a guided meditation if you choose to stay in Shavasana a little bit longer, where we can really discover and really visualize what that inner guidance is trying to tell us. If you want to take this practice a little bit further, you may want to take a moment and grab your journal, grab a pen and a piece of paper so that you can also write down any downloads that may be coming to you. And if this is the end of your practice, I wanted to thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see you next week on the mat. Namaste.